You lied. Um, so yeah, we'll just once things get popping.
Once things pop. Yes, ma'am. What's the matter?
Nothing. I think I didn't send one person an invite.
Shady. You don't want her to get this healing.
Come on, Amy. I just said her name online. Come on,
girl, if you're out there, come on, get this.
Oh, now I gotta figure out how to invite her. Let us break bread together on our knees. Let us break bread. I'm sorry.
Why is this happening?
This is in my spirit. If I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, oh Lord, have mercy on me. You don't know my story. You don't know my testimony.
I sure don't. That was a word for somebody on today. Not me, but somebody.
You need that word.
I needed that.
I'm trying to break bread together with you right now.
And I'm over here being hateful.
Ungrateful.
Ungrateful.
A trifling, good for nothing type of brother. I literally, when I see my tweezers, I automatically just pick them up and start plucking my chairs. Almost just I was like, ooh.
Let me get this down real quick. It's like when you can, you know, it's like braiding your braids all the way down. Like, never mind you in a meeting at work. You see a braid that you didn't get to?
You got to finish that braid. Yeah, Jim, that's what I was thinking. Really? No, you know factually that let me see what's going on over here. That I did not get the invite. Yes, you did. I keep forgetting that I'm recording.
Well, don't say nobody else's name, though. Don't incriminate any more people.
I'm incriminating myself. No, I did send this invite, but
you know, things be happening. Technical issues, you know. Sprint might not have enough prison labor, and so something just fell through the cracks. You never know.
I was gonna say something. No, so I'm sitting in an online class.
Hey. What's this way? All right, cool.
Hey, how you doing?
Cookie.
Okay.
Sorry, I got a last minute thing. I gotta go get food for the family, so apologies if I'm on mute or what have you.
It's fine.
Okay, no
How do I even mute this thing?
How do you work this thing?
I'm just an unfrozen caveman, Your Honor.
Right. I'm like, you are technologically savvy. Last I checked.
Yeah, but I'm unfortunately also now. I was in the middle of working on something, and now I'm like, oh, and you got to get dinner for the family in the next 5 minutes. Oh, okay, all right, good to know.
The pressures of life.
Yep.
Did you just get this? Were you just able to log in with the invite that I just sent you, or did you find your invite?
Neither. I was just sitting here with Hangouts open, and I was about to just popped up.
Okay, you cut out. But basically, we just snuck up on you.
Which
You had Hangouts open, and then we just walked in the door. The door open. We were just like, hey.
which
Sorry, I
makes
was walking through the bowels of a building.
I need to do the same thing for everybody because I resent it, but now individually. Lord, why have you forsaken me?
We're gonna get this.
Here we go.
So
Here's mute. Here we go.
look at you. You are intelligent, so I knew you were gonna be okay.
I'm mostly drunk too, so that helps.
Mostly drunk.
Nikki, goodness. How have you been taking care of yourself?
Right.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
So you've been drinking. What is funny is that we said this earlier. We were like, people have probably been drinking.
Drinking, smoking.
Turn to all kind of hard drugs, prescription medications.
Times are hard.
Times are hard, exactly. So, just fall into a stupor. Wake up in a couple days, and it's all over. Don't do that. Don't you ever fall into a stupor.
I'm probably not gonna do that.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad to have your word on that.
What I'm doing now is, just resending some invites for like the
third time? Third time's a charm. That's what they say.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are. But
stay away from that. Major key alert. DJ Khaled Tourette.
DJ Khaled.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Did you just get this invite just now, or did you get one earlier?
I got one earlier, but I couldn't figure out how to use it, so.
Okay. So it's probably my fault, not your fault.
Google Hangouts is just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I feel
convoluted.
We gonna make it.
We gonna make it. It's okay. Look, we survived the middle passage. We can get through this.
Sorry.
And shout out to your profile picture.
It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, shout out to your current hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Can anybody hear me?
Hmm. I can hear you.
Yes, right now I feel like I didn't properly invite people. So we're just giving people a chance to log in because I've
I
got
think you did, though. I think that Google Hangouts is just challenging because I feel like pretty much every other time that I try to do something like this, it's like,
Time to transfer to my computer because for some reason my tablet is slow. All right. No, good.
DJ Khaled. Sorry. That's in my spirit.
you ain't sorry.
I know I did resend it to everybody, so I don't want to go past like 19 or more people.
Yeah. We gonna get it popping in about 2 minutes. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee from my
Hmm. You slipped like a ninja. Already?
It's right over there. Coffee.
I thought you had to go make it.
Oh no, girl. Coffee's always already made. Just magical fountain of coffee wherever I reside. At all times of day. It's amazing. Black girl magic.
Okay. Sade had made a comment on the side. She said, Birdman hand rub. Did this thing start already or did I miss it? So I tried to send her an invite again.
Okay.
And that's what I was waiting for, but I don't know.
Well, it's okay. I think we should go ahead and get started, and then that way, we can be fairly timely, and we're just going to be doing, introduction, so won't too much get missed if people pop in the next few minutes. And plus, that gives Hannibal time to make dinner.
I'm actually gonna be hitting El Pollo Loco for that. I ain't trying to make dinner.
You just gave up. You're like,
I mean, I was at the office and they called me and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got 5 minutes to make dinner and you're at the office." I'm like, "Gotta do what I gotta do."
oh yeah, okay. Well, I don't think any less of you.
If it helps, it wouldn't make a difference if you did.
Thank you for that. I always appreciate your honesty.
Real talk is one of the things I keep in stock.
Raw,
Like your car.
unmitigated truth. Unmitigated truth. I want it all the time. Ebony,
Mm-hmm.
do we want to start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. That's the first thing on my agenda. Hey,
That's the
y'all.
first thing. Hey, y'all.
Mhm.
That's a good place to start. Howdy on mine. So, my name is Nikki.
And my name is Ebony Janice. And we are the founders of and facilitators of Interrupting Racism. And Nikki can tell a little bit about the origin of why we decided to start this work and share this work with you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, briefly, this is a really organic event, born of many, many conversations, probably hundreds of hours worth of conversations that should have all been recorded or documented in some way. Sadly, they've vanished into the ether. But throughout our friendship and throughout our lives of being really Black and women and not existing in a vacuum and being activists and being artists and being scholars, we're always having conversations amongst ourselves and our friends about, what's going on, what the possible causes are, what the possible solutions are, how we are feeling in response to, whatever the fuck shit of the moment is. I cuss too, so okay. Because sometimes there's just no other word to really properly convey exactly what's happening. So, and really, actually, what was it, 2 days before Alton Sterling was murdered, I said that there needs to be some sort of really quick training workshop type situation, specifically for responses to racism. And that came about just because of a conversation or something that at my job, one of my co-managers, assistant managers, told me this story about a woman that went on a racist rant and how she was gobsmacked. Her mouth just was on the floor and she really didn't know what to say. And after Alton Sterling was murdered and then after Philando Castile, I've seen people that haven't had hundreds of hours worth of conversations about racism, don't know what it's like to be blackety black, don't know what it's like to be a marginalized people, wanting to say something but not having the language, not having the authority because they don't really know what to say or what's going on. And that's kind of what this was born of. And so as students, we are always taking in information, we're always processing, we're always analyzing, and we care and we want to. I believe that that education is the great equalizer. I believe that having information is what can even the playing field in a lot of situations. And me, myself, I've entered conversations where the other person expected for everyone in the conversation to have the same amount of information as them, which was none. And and so then I came in with information, and it just fell apart. Everything fell apart because people are not informed. I feel like I'm rambling, so I'm gonna stop there. But that's essentially what this came from. Just us wanting to uplift people, empower people. Really, it's about empowerment.
Yeah, my favorite part of this conversation, I mean, certainly that it's happening, but I always talk about my friend that's in a cult, always. And my friend that is in a cult, I'm just choosing not to say her name right now because I usually always say her name. My friend that's in a cult. My friend that's in a cult, her cult, they are equipped. Like, they know the Bible backwards and forwards. And therefore, there is no conversation that can be had. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? What if they say this? What if they say this? They are so prepared that it is impossible
to stump them.
You're supposed to be about to join the cult because they got the answer. So I think it's important for us, certainly, especially in this time, but definitely just as people that are leaders and thought leaders ourselves, and blackity black, and needing to have this information for ourselves, but certainly wanting to be able to empower each other to be able to empower others. That's really what the heart of it was for me. I don't want us to just have this space and go away and feel good about it. I want us to be able to take something from this conversation and say, okay, I want to share that with somebody else. Or you could be like my friend, we'll call her Brittany. You could be like my friend Brittany in the cult, and you could be so equipped in this conversation that you will have your responses prepared. You'll have it in your heart. You'll have the information. You'll have the resources, or even being able to just point people in the right direction for the right information. I think that's so important. So I want us to be equipped like my friend Brittany in the cult is equipped. We should be even more equipped than a cult
member or leader.
Yes.
So really, not to interrupt you, it's a cult of common sense. It's a cult of believe. A cult of people that believe in equity. A cult of people that believe in, and so you can say it's cultish if you want to. Cult of people that believe that all life is precious, and at this time, dealing with a lot of anti-Black racism, but it's not just anti-Black. It's anti-Latino, it's anti-Asian, it's anti-Muslim, it's anti, all kinds of things. But specifically as Black women, as marginalized people, like you said, empowering other people to empower other people. That's what I want to do too.
Certainly.
So
started a little late, and and I certainly want us to stay on time because we didn't want to keep y'all forever, and because we started a little late, we wanted you all to introduce yourself. So I know that Hannibal is on the run. And
I'm Hannibal. I'm a jerk. Yeah, that's nothing else to know.
Okay.
Not a jerk. That's not true. I don't believe that.
Kelsey, can you hear?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure what to say. I'm 25. I'm from San Diego. And I work with youth, and I also do art. So I was interested in what your recommendation for self-care is, because I also have an interest in mental health in the Black community.
Mm-hmm. Okay. To go back to Hannibal the jerk, aside from being a jerk, is there anything else that you want to share with us? And also, we wanted to ask, and we'll come back to you, Kelsey, with this. What have been your experiences? How are you feeling at this time? How have you been over the past week? And what, if anything, have you been doing to mitigate these feelings or buffer any stress that you've been under? Hannibal, if you have.
Me?
Mhm.
Hang on a second. I'm just trying to drive and not die at the same time.
Why are you
In
driving? Okay.
Look, do you want these kids to eat this food or not?
I want them to eat
Anyway,
it.
so, well, I mean, I self-care by writing. I self-care by meditation. I self-care by focusing on creating an accomplishment, which, hard work is the mantra by which I accomplish all things. I got Comic-Con next week, so I got a gajillion things to do to get ready for that, and be gone away from my family for 5 days. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do logistically that when they call me for dinner on Wednesday night now. So, I'm making it work. I've been in a constant state of rage since I was 4 years old. When I lived in Memphis, and I saw Martin Luther King's assassination on a TV special, and my parents were like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Oh, no, all of this has got to go." Yeah, that's
At four.
I go back to jerk because it's shorthand and it's faster and it's technically true. So
Yeah, mess.
Thank you for that.
Shorthand. Okay.
Constant rage since the state of force, so that's blessing me.
That's so much.
Kelsey, the same question for you. Like, how have you been, and what, if anything, have you been doing to walk through your current space of what's going on in the world right now?
Yeah, it's been really hard. Not that each tragedy that's happened in the past of all my existence hasn't been hard, but I think with Alton Sterling, to start off, like, I saw my brother, and that really traumatized me. I had a day I had to call out of work because I was just so full with, like, rage and depression, and I wasn't really in the mood to be chipper Kelsey with well-meaning white people. But I think one of the things that I've been doing to just take care of myself is just making sure that I'm sleeping, I'm writing out my feelings, or just, like, talking to my family. Like, me and my brother have bonded over this in a way, unfortunately, because he is starting to come into that sense of rage of always being a potential victim. So kind of just, like, coming up with ways to cope together has been helpful. And, I'm just really at the point where I'm solution oriented and trying to figure out proactively how I can be a part of the helping change,
Absolutely. Yeah. Like you said, you saw your brother in that. I saw my brother in Alton Sterling as well. Just the body shape. And additionally, I have a brother that is hearing impaired. So it really was very traumatic for me as well to watch this man that looked so much like my brother, but I appreciate you sharing that, and I love just the fact that you and your brother are connecting in a new way, and that hopefully there will be something beautiful that comes from even something so ugly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I want to talk about at this point, since we've touched on how we've been feeling, is recognizing the signs of burnout. So we've all basically said, we're artists, or we work with children, or we're activists, and in doing that work that's very emotionally draining sometimes. I find myself sometimes just interacting with a lot of people at over a period of time makes me tired. So then to have to be in, you know, this current situation and then go to work and interact with well-meaning white people, or, you know, or people that don't, it's infuriating. Let me just say really quickly, and it's maybe silly, but to go to work and everybody is carrying on with their lives as per
Yeah.
usual. Oh my God. I, I, I remember when I was pregnant with my now 2-year-old, I worked at a clothing company, a pretty major company, and I was one of maybe 4 black people that worked there. It was a gigantic company. And at the time, the George Zimmerman trial was going on. And I used to sit at my desk and listen to the trial and cry all day. And that's what I did through the whole trial. Just sat at my desk and cried and listened to this trial and listened to this man get acquitted, which I knew that was going to happen as I was listening to it. And I was pregnant. So passing this grief on to my child, and looking at everybody else just do their job and knowing that they didn't even, not even that they didn't care, they didn't even know what was happening. You know, that I was just like, how can you not know this is going on? So, but we have to get away from that, I guess. You know, it's not logical and it's not fair to, you know, think or feel like everybody just supposed to know exactly what, you know, okay, it's a lot going on in the world. Okay, fine. So I just want to encourage anyone that is having similar feelings or has had similar feelings, like, don't add that on top of you already upset and now you're looking at everybody else and you just angry. But that takes a toll on you. So I don't know who here watched the videos, but I did not. And I won't ever. I won't watch them. My advice to you is to not watch anymore going forward. You grown, you can do what you want to do. But I think we should just start there. Like, you don't need to see it because you know what's happening.
Which means that you might have to change your settings on all your social media, because that's how I ended up seeing them. It was on accident. I was scrolling in videos,
and it auto plays. Right. Don't put yourself through that. That is self-abuse. And you're already receiving messages from everywhere saying that you are not valuable and that your life does not matter. So then to watch what is essentially a snuff video, it just doesn't help you. And everything that we see and we take in stays with us forever. Your mind records everything. So I just encourage you to, going forward, don't watch the video. You don't need to. You know what's happening. You don't need proof. Other people might need proof, but we don't need proof. We know what's happening. So that's just a preemptive measure. Don't watch it. And then, so signs that you're experiencing burnout from whatever's going on, whether it be your activism or just this period of time. You may feel like the news is taking over your life. If you feel like these thoughts, these images are taking over your life, if you feel like the activism involved in combating these images is taking over your life, you're on your way to being burnt out. Indecision, not being able to, you know, not being able to decide any, you know, going to 31 flavors and just standing there forever. Like, it leaks into every part of your life. So if you were previously a pretty decisive person, pretty, you know, to the point, concise, and now you can't wrap your mind around a choice, you're probably experiencing burnout. Not having focus, which I think is directly tied to indecision. I haven't been able to focus on anything. Like, in the past 5 days for sure, I've been seriously like, I have ADHD. Like, what is wrong with me? I literally, something could catch my attention out the corner of my eye and my whole, every activity that I was involved in is just gone. I'm like, oh, look over there. Insomnia. insomnia. If you can't get to sleep, if you can't stay asleep, if you waking up in the middle of the night, waking up too early, pervasive negative thoughts, if you are drained, you don't have any energy, which I've been there, having tension in your muscles, being too turned up, aka on 100,000 trillion. So in the past week or so, and this has happened in previous times, when Mike Brown was murdered, when Trayvon Martin was murdered, when Ezell Forbes, every time, just hopped up. I am so turned up. It's midnight and I'm pacing the floor. Like, go to sleep. What are you doing? Lie down to go to sleep, eyes just open, you know, and then, well, let me read another article, you know, just, yeah. So if you notice that you acting like a crackhead, then you're on your way to burnout. If you're having headaches, I had a headache at work the other day and I knew exactly what it was. Sometimes when I get headaches, I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't drink enough water. Maybe this. I knew immediately. I was like, I'm stressed out. I'm upset. I'm grieving. Lashing out or just being moody. Loss of interest in things that you used to love. And having trouble getting out of bed in the morning. These are all signs that you are getting burnt out. And I want us to try to keep from reaching this point. However, I think that all of us here are already there. And I think that every time there is a murder, every time there's a lynching, I think that we pick up where we left off. Being turned up and being upset, and so we never get a chance to even like recover from the last time. So you know, I don't even know if this is information that's all that helpful, but if you have experienced any of these things and you didn't necessarily make the connection, that is what's happening to you. So that's what I have for that part.
On top of that, not recovering, many of us have still not finished processing our grief from from Trayvon. I say Trayvon because I know that I feel like I'm still trying to process that in my mind. I'm still trying to make that real for me that happened. So in a conversation certainly about self-care, we definitely need to, have to, at the very least for a second, talk about the fact that grieving is often a lifetime thing. There may be some things that you just never get over. And I used to struggle with that, especially as someone who has served in ministry in the Black church, depression and like grieving for too long. The messages are like, hurry up and give it to Jesus so you can get over it. The reality is that's unhealthy, and what is real is sometimes there are some things that you just have to accept that this is something that I may be just processing for the rest of my life. And I think that Trayvon is definitely a big deal, but he's just symbolic of everything that social media, that technology has revealed over the next, coming years. So it's about Trayvon, and it's about how America could allow this to happen to this young man on his way home, minding his business. But it's also about, everything that's piled on top of that. So we need to really learn how to process our grief, and hopefully some of this conversation will give us some tools and some idea of, what that might look like. So one of the things that is really a big deal for me in the past 5 or 6 months is mindfulness. And the practice of mindfulness is really just about being present in the current moment, whatever is happening. because oftentimes we can be so busy thinking about what happened, or we can be so busy thinking about, well, what's going to happen, that is adding to the anxiety of everything that we're trying to do. So like outside of this activism work, I am a full-time grad student. I have a family that would like to have my attention every now and then. I have a dog. His name is Puppy LaFleur Ivy Kardashian because he's the hardest working dog in the business. So he
Yes,
always,
it is.
it's not a game, always wants my attention. I have to make money because there's this thing called eating and paying bills. So there are 100,000 trillion other things going on top of the fact that now we got to march to Selma every other week.
Every other week.
Demand that people see us as human and, you know, not 2/3, I mean, or less than a person. And so I think it's important for us to really learn how to be present right now in this moment. And with that, some of the things that I do to practice mindfulness is meditation. I will keep a song on repeat. I will I practice deep breathing in a major way, which is a thing that I'm going to share very briefly here because I don't want to be awkward breathing on the camera. So, but I want to show that very briefly. And then I spot focus often, either in my meditation or just in, if I can't sit down and, you know, do a full-blown meditation focus, you know, re-centering my chakras. I do spot focus, and spot focus is basically just picking a spot on the wall, or maybe a candle, or maybe a song, just something really simple. I have these interludes that I listen to sometimes, and literally just bringing myself back very quickly to like right now, right here, present in this moment. And then once I can bring myself right back present in this moment, out of the stress, out of the calamity, out of everything that's going on in the world, once I can bring myself back present right here in this moment, then that helps me to focus back on what it is that I need to be doing in this moment. And oftentimes that's like, maybe, you know, like I said, because I'm in grad school, like I need to be writing a paper, but I can't write a paper because it's a dead boy in the street. So like, but I still need to write a paper. And that's what being able to take care of ourselves is really about. It's about the fact that we still got to keep living. The earth does not stop spinning. It feels like it. Often it feels like it because how do you keep going? How do you just walk the dog and it's a dead body on the street? You know, like roadkill. Like, oh, I'll get to that later. How do you do that? But the reality is you have to be able to keep going for yourself. Not for anybody else, but for yourself. You have to be able to figure out how to bring yourself back focused. So certainly the practice of mindfulness is a powerful tool. And then the last thing is keeping your mother freaking chakras open. This certainly isn't the last thing that I do, but this is the last thing on this list today. And when I talk about chakras, that's a whole nother class for a whole nother time. But the practice of keeping your chakras open and or just balancing your chakras is really about learning the 7 major energy channels in your body and going, just closing your eyes, deep breathing, literally just taking a deep breath in and filling your lungs, a deep breath out and exhaling it all out, and then just checking in with every single part of your body, every single one of those major energy channels. Like, I'm here, I'm focused, I am capable of, you know, doing what I need to do in this moment. Like literally you have to stop sometimes and like check in with yourself, tell yourself these things. And I feel like often, even when we have these conversations, it might feel silly, it might feel like that's too much, that's too deep, but it's really not. We really need to learn the power of our minds, the power of setting intentions for ourselves, and the power of literally just being mindful of, like, right now in this moment is the only thing that really is real, is the only thing that really exists. And I get all of my power, I get all of my wisdom, like the tools to be able to move forward and possibly see a greater future, possibly see a better existence for my children. I get all of that by being present right now, here today. So again, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in and filling your lungs, letting it all exhale out, and then just checking in with every part of yourself. I'm present, I'm focused, I'm here, I'm capable, I am creative, I am able to give birth to all the things that need to happen today. I am satisfied. I am full. Every single thing that I have need for is present with me right now. I'm full of love and compassion and grace, and I'm receiving love, and I'm able to give that love. I am capable of communicating the things that I need, both to God and to this earth. I have that power to speak it and wait patiently for it to manifest. And then I'm conscious. I can see. I'm intuitive. I am checking in with my instincts. I'm here. I'm present. And then I am connected with the divine. I am knowing. I have knowledge. I have wisdom. I have understanding, and all of that. Just checking in with that. So that is my like. I actually charge for that session. That is my free like checking in with your chakras, like keeping your chakras balanced. Literally just checking in with yourself. And then after I do something like that, and of course it's not that quick, but I'm trying to stay within our time frame. But after doing something like that, it is so much easier to flow back into, okay, now let me write this paper on twerking in the church or whatever it is. Yeah, which is a thing possibly.
That's a thing.
Yeah, so let me now that I know, now that I'm back connected to my power, let me come back to this space and do what it is that I need to do. And or after I've checked in with myself and I'm still, because like there's so much awareness that you get for yourself in just being still and being mindful and being present, that something in my body might say, nah, B, you need to take a nap, or you need to sit down, you need to be still. And whatever that is, hey girl, uh,
Oh, y'all can see?
Hey.
Hey. Okay. Lord, I thought I was behind a picture.
You thought you were incognito? You were not.
So yeah, so whatever that is that my body might be telling me, then I'm able to, get present with that and deal with that. Sometimes I do just need to take a nap. Sometimes I do just need to sit down somewhere. Sometimes I do need to go. Sometimes your body is telling you need some greens. You need to, drink some water. Whatever it is, you need to moisturize your situation. Whatever it is, that comes from mindfulness, being still, getting present with yourself, and then being able to move forward from there. So those are some of the things that I wanted to talk about. I really just wanted to just deal with being present. And the last piece about mindfulness is mindfulness doesn't only help me to deal with me. Mindfulness awesomeness.
Girl.
It's 9:44 p.m. I generally go to sleep at around 8. This is a true story. Um, Mindfulness also helps me to have compassion for myself and compassion for others.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get present, just here right now today, and I deal with the ebony that's right here, my flawed, ridiculous, often attitudinal, haughty self, thinking more highly of myself, sometimes self. When mindfulness brings all of that into my awareness, and I'm not only able to be, gracious and compassionate for myself, like I am human, I can take a moment for me, but it also helps me to be gracious and show great compassion for you, because I know my messed up self. So, I'm not coming to preach a sermon, and I'm really going to get out your way with this topic, but they're just thinking about the scripture where, Paul talks about the fact that amongst the sinner, I was the chief sinner. And that's how I feel when I get mindful sometimes. Like, amongst those that are a raggedy mess, I am the chief of the raggedy mess clan. So, being mindful, being present with that helps me to, like, start paying more attention to, like, where I am right now, getting more centered, getting more focused on where I am right now. So that mindfulness piece, I think, is really important. And I think if we were to have a part 2 of this conversation, certainly Nikki and I want to, and I know that we will, but when we have a part 2 of this conversation, we'll go into depth a little bit more about how to implement these tools into our lives. But tonight, really, we wanted to make sure that we took the time to kind of lay it out, what this conversation is about, and give some basic tools at the very least of what it would look like for us to be empowered, and then to go out and to empower other people in our community.
Absolutely. I like what you said about mindfulness helping you to have compassion for other people, because it's right now, I think that everybody is so turned up that it's easy to be just upset, like I was saying earlier about how you at work and you're like, ain't nobody else mad at this. Or, you know, people not understanding certain things that are going on, people misusing terminology, you know, all kinds of stuff. I had 2 black women argue me down to the ground yesterday about how black on black crime is a real thing. And I was like, that's not a thing, ma'am. And they were just going hard for it. But I said in the conversation, I was like, well, it's understandable because you've been enculturated, you know, so it's not your fault. It's not this stuff that's going on. We didn't make it happen. I didn't start this. You didn't start this. So meditating is important for that reason, to just like help you to have grace and compassion, because at the end of the day, I think that's what these conversations are all about. It's about our humanity. Like, are we human or nah? Was that a person or nah? Is killing wrong or nah? Like, and so, but I can't really argue that if I'm gonna now disregard your humanity and not allow you to be flawed and not, you know, and disrespect you, you know, name calling or whatever these conversations get reduced to. Like, we don't have to do all that. So now we're just gonna go over some little things that we can all do to care for ourselves. And some of these things may seem extremely trite and trivial. Some of them may seem super obvious, but when you are in the midst of grieving, when you are not in your right mind, when you haven't been able to recover from the last time, you might need somebody to tell you to drink some water. You might need to remind yourself to do that. Like, for serious moisturize. I think I did moisturize like twice this past week. I was tripping. So, and I need to stay cute. I can't be aging like milk. So, I have a list of self-care tips, kind of divided into things you can do right this second, or things you can do in the moment as you're sitting at your desk at work, or as you are, you know, in something. Somebody come at you sideways. What can you do right now? You read a headline. What can you do right now? Then things that you can do a little bit later, and then things long term. In terms of immediate things, journaling, getting some sunshine. That may not necessarily always be an immediate thing. You might be in a meeting. You might be, you know, somewhere where you can't do that. But if you can, step away from wherever, go out into the sun. Keeping a gratitude journal, not multitasking. That may not necessarily be something you can do in this moment. You may be working, but if you can, allow yourself to just focus on one thing at a time. No internet. Once again, that may not necessarily be something you can do in the moment, but if you can, give up the internet. Asking for help, creating a plan, fantasizing about what you hope and or long for, paying attention to your breathing, drinking water, praying, and creating art. Do what you can. Doodle at your desk, write a little poem. One of my favorites is creating a plan, because a lot of times we feel helpless in these moments. And so if you can sit down and go, okay, what can I do today to make this change? What can I do tomorrow? It can help you feel a little bit better, because you feel like, you know, you're contributing to the solution in some way. Interim things that you can do: visit a museum, dance, buy yourself some flowers and display them in a vase. Say no to extra obligations. This is something that I actually had to come to Jesus about just recently. I was calling myself planning a trip for next month, and I had to realize just yesterday, no, that wouldn't be caring for myself. When I think about the stress of traveling with a toddler, everything that goes into it, the change in time zones, no. Once again, no multitasking, experiencing live music, doing yoga, treat yourself to coffee at a coffee shop, disconnect from the internet, go to church, ask for help. Once again, try to wake up naturally if you can. If there's a day where you can sleep in, allow yourself that. Paint your nails, have a face-to-face conversation with someone. Um, find yourself some overgrown grass and take your socks and shoes off and stand in and walk in it. Um, get some sunshine and enjoy or create some art. And then long term, get a pet. Everybody need a puppy LaFoy, you know, so get yourself a little dog. Go on vacation. Plan a vacation. Like, start right now planning a vacation for yourself for next year. Go somewhere really, really nice. Go somewhere tropical. Go, you know, give that gift to yourself and take the steps that you need to make it happen. Get your passport, you know, start setting your money aside.
You're reading your list, but you can't see puppy and scream.
I see puppy, I'm ignoring puppy. Puppy been on vacation. Puppy been to Hawaii.
Don't bring that up.
Didn't like puppy, yeah, because puppy got arrested. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Let the record show.
Puppy got street cred. So don't do that when you go on vacation. Don't get arrested. Don't get detained. But go on vacation. Relocate permanently. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. Get the hell up out of here.
Get up out of here.
Go on vacation and don't come back. Actually, those two are really just one thing. Get therapy. Find yourself a therapist today. Maybe you can't afford it. There are a lot of free programs or sliding scales. Sometimes there's a waiting list. So start working on it today. And then get yourself on the waiting list, you know, so that you can, when your time come up and you're and they're ready for you, bam, you got yourself some therapy. Remove toxic people from your life and get the hell up out of toxic environments. This is a long-term, you know, plan. You may not be able to leave your husband today.
I wish I could see her clapping and waving her hands.
Because I'm preaching. I'm doing my good preaching. You may not be able to, you know, cut your mama off, or, you know, whoever it is that's giving you grief and they just not going to change. You may not be able to do it right now, but start working on removing this person from your life and getting out of toxic environments. I specifically put that on the list because living situations can be toxic. Work situations be toxic. And
church situations.
Church situations. You know, all kinds of things that you can't just jump out of. You know, I talk to people about this all the time. They're like, I really need it. Because people be having, in this particular, for what we're talking about, people be having racist coworkers. Racist supervisors. One of my friends on Facebook last week said that her supervisor just said to her, she posted this as a status update, my supervisor just said all lives matter. I said it's time to go home. But she may not have been able to walk out at that moment. But you know what? Let me send my resume around town. Get yourself out of that situation. You don't have to put up with that. And especially, you know, as these things are happening all the time, and then you got to turn around and go to work and then hear people talking shit. No, thank you. And finally, art. Always art. Create some, get some. Those are my tips for self-care.
And the only thing, and your list is so, like, phenomenal. The only thing that I want to just add to that is that long-term piece is that you had mentioned it earlier in the short term about daydreaming or, you know, thinking about the plan, but also that is a long-term piece as well. I have, I journal a lot, and like I have journals for different things, in fact. And one of my journals is just a dream journal. Like I literally am creating a plan. And oftentimes, especially in times like this, when my heart is overwhelmed, or whenever it's just a lot going on, I start to, like, I go back to my dream journal, which certainly has me ending up in West Africa.
In Botswana.
Yeah, because hashtag Marcus Garvey was right. But like, I definitely go back to my dream journal, and I add to, like, this is what would happen next. This is what it would look like for me to get to that place next, or this is what I need to do next, or even even in that long-term thing, not just getting the hell up out of here, but also like being able to travel more frequently is a major thing. Being able to travel internationally has shown me how beautiful it is to be a Black woman, which is a thing that I feel like just for myself, but I don't think that I ever get to be consistently a beautiful Black woman in this country. But in other countries, I'm just this beautiful, amazing Black woman. And so being able to travel internationally frequently is certainly a goal. So creating opportunities for myself, like in my dream journal, like what it would look like for me to be able to take what it is that I do professionally or with my education and go somewhere else. So like definitely dream and like and create a plan and strategize and like think about the long term, what that'll look like for you. And I think it's very healthy to be having these ideas and fantasizing and imagining and pondering like the possibilities of whatever the next level is. We're about to close, but first before we close, we want to, for the those of you that are here in the broadcast, we just lost Hannibal. For those of you that are here in the broadcast, we want to just close with a plan. Like what are some of the things either that we've suggested or that you have been thinking through about how you're going to start walking towards being a healthy, more whole, free version of yourself, number one. And then number two, and like let's try to keep it because I didn't want us to go over like really a strong hour, but the number two part of that question is, what is one thing that you think you can do or you will do to pass this information along or share this information with someone else? So I'll start. My plan is to be more consistent with my own practice. Yoga, every single time I come back to my yoga practice, I literally like cry, like the Holy Ghost has taken over me or something. And I wonder to myself, why do I have these long bouts of being away from my yoga practice? Why do I do that? So being more consistent with my practice and with my yoga practice, and then also being more consistent and intentional in my journaling, my meditation journaling. So I certainly am meditating and practicing gratitude on a daily basis. That's a thing that I have alarms and notifications on my phone to make sure that I'm doing that on a daily basis. But I'm not journaling enough, or I'm not journaling in the way that I would like to process on a daily basis. So I'm going to whether it's setting alarms, whatever it is that notifications, whatever it is that I need to do to be more intentional about staying consistent with both my yoga practice and staying more consistent with my meditation practice. And one thing that I'm going to do to take this information to somebody else is I'm going to be making sure that Nikki and I are doing another version of this workshop within the next week. So I will make sure that we're doing that. And I'm also going to send you all some amazing supplemental material for this conversation that you'll be able to have for yourself and free to, share it as you desire. So so for Hannibal, we lost you for a second, but that's where we are right now. We're going to take about 60 seconds or less and tell what is the thing you're going to do to practice being a more whole, free version of yourself after this. And then the second part of that question is, and what is the one thing that you might be able to do to share some of this information or information that you have with someone else about self-care?
Okay. I'm going to do the one thing that has always made me happy, which is work hard. Like I said, somebody asked me, was I going on vacation to Comic-Con? I said, no, my happiness comes when I'm by myself writing. That's the happiest time I ever am. So I'm going to keep doing that. And as for proliferating it, a lot of the things that you suggest in terms of being where you are, in terms of stopping to think about things, are things that I've been, quoting from Star Wars and telling my kids forever. So I'll be proliferating that information continually as I do throughout every friendship that I have. And, asking people to focus on solutions and not problems more than anything else. That's the number one thing that I ask of virtually everybody I have to talk to.
Amen.
Anyone else?
I'll go. one thing that I know I want to do for me is being intentional about investing in myself and making sure I'm taking care of myself by doing the things that I always say I want to do, but I don't have to make time for.
Mm.
And to pass it along, I'll definitely be kind of sharing this with my youth that I work with, because I've kind of been at a loss with how to get them to start practicing self-care in the midst of this. Like we talk about it in other terms, but like letting them know how it's okay to take self-care when there's national tragedies going on. So that's what I'm
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Gervais,
You're
you on
muted.
mute.
Hold on a second. Try to
Can't hear you,
unmute
girl.
yourself, Gervais, because we can't hear you. You can't unmute. You're muted for some reason.
You're muted. Hey. Hi. Hi. Oops. No, it's not here.
I'm going to try to figure out how to unmute you, Gervais, and we'll come back to you.
All right, then I don't have to bark. Okay.
Okay.
Did I have a package up here?
Okay, anybody else? Okay, little Nikki.
Okay, thanks. I see.
Me next.
Yes.
Okay. So for self-care, what I will be doing is getting this paint polish off the tip of my nail. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to be more consistent with what I noticed, like I said a little bit earlier, like overextending myself. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to say no more. Yeah, I'm going to start recognizing that I really need to have time to process and time to myself and not to overload with more stuff. And one thing that I shall do to pass this information on, well, I'm going to be with you doing another one of these workshops in the next week. And then talking to people individually about it as well. Checking in with people. I have a Facebook friend that does this thing where he pretty much weekly checks in. He'll just in his status be like, hey, how's everybody? What's your self-care looking like this week? Or what's something that you did? And I've done that a couple times. Just asking people if they're happy. And, allowing a conversation to take place organically as a result of, that question or just, how you doing? Are you happy? How's your heart? With coworkers, just anybody, making sure that we're all okay. Because I think too, just as a little side note, we need to start getting in each other's business a little bit. I know minding your business is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I try to just wake up and mind my business every day. But sometimes I think we mind our business too much, and then we're letting things happen. We're not checking in with people, and sometimes people need help and they don't even know how to ask or they don't know how to say it. So getting in people's business a little bit, if you notice a change in people, or if you just, things are going on right now. I saw a meme that said, white people, if you got black friends and you ain't checked in with them in the past 3 days, you don't have black friends. Like, right now, things are going on. Did you ask somebody how they were doing? Because you know what's happening, So let's just be a little bit nosier, and that's my plan.
I don't know why I cannot get Gervais unmuted. The devil is a liar and busy in this.
He's
No.
so busy. Ugh.
But and I saw that Tara just logged in. So thank you for being here. We are actually going to do another version of this. So I hope that you will either be able to watch this back on replay, or definitely try to get on the next list so that you can get all the information, because I think that we did have a great conversation. But in closing, I am grateful that everybody, for everybody that signed up. We had a little, some technical issues in the beginning, but I've definitely enjoyed your energy and
You're not gonna
being
let
able
me
to
share.
be with you.
Sade.
You're not gonna let me share though.
Sorry,
I asked you to
Sade.
say something a long time ago and you didn't say nothing.
I couldn't figure out how to get off of mute either. That's the gotcha.
And then when you figured out, then you had an attitude with
I did. You caught that.
Go ahead, Sade. Please forgive me.
Okay, so about the self-care piece, I think what my plan is to vehemently pursue stillness. There's so much going on, and we're pulled in so many directions, not just physically, but emotionally. It's just traumatic to see things over and over and over and over and over again. And I think we neglect to understand that we put ourselves in the lane or in the way of trauma. I think Nikki said that our minds are, our minds record everything. So definitely being more intentional about just chill, bruh. Like, you don't have to read every article. You don't have to watch everything that's reposted. You don't have to, send a text message like, girl, did you see this? Or what are these white people doing today? You don't have to, you don't have to do that all the time. So really being intentional about just being still, because stillness is the move. What I will do to kind of pass this along, I think I will be the DJ Spinderella of the Nikki and Ebony Janice show and just plaster everything that you guys post and you guys offer to my personal sites or, social media accounts or whatever, just to let people know that this is a thing, and that if you are looking for self-care tips or whatever, the information is available. You just have to get it popping and go find it. So do that, as well as I will be more intentional about not allowing feelings of anxiety and just overall being overwhelmed to snuff out my voice. Because there are a lot of people who feel a lot of things, they think a lot of things. However, that anxiety of like, oh my God, the walls are closing in, another black man is laying in the street, it snuffs out their voice that they have, that can really bring about knowledge to a lot of the things that we deal with, and really just it snuffs out their voice to make a change. So that is my plan.
Thank you, Sade.
Thanks, little sharks. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Thank y'all for sharing, and there will be a replay. I will send that in a follow-up email. I will send the supplemental material that I mentioned as well. And I hope that if you missed any part of this, either you'll watch it on replay or sign up for the next portion that should more than likely be in existence next week. And because I would love to have your input and your feedback, and definitely just appreciate your energy. And these are not at all shameless plugs. I wrote a book called 5 Miles to Jesus, The Radical Worship That Saved My Life. And it is literally about taking care of myself in a depression that was so great that I thought I was going to die. And the pain, as a matter of fact, the grief felt heavy, like how this feels, possibly even heavier. I never strategized a plan, but I wanted to die, so certainly was struggling with the feelings of suicide, thoughts of suicide. And so 5 Miles to Jesus is about how I used, really, it's about walking. I literally was walking about 5-6 miles a day, every single day, in about 5 different states. I'm walking through Inglewood. I'm walking through Clarksville, Tennessee. I was everywhere, just walking. And but additionally, the strategic, what it looked like for me to walk through brokenness and what it looked like for me to walk through heaviness. And so you can learn more about that book and that work at thefreepeopleproject.com. Additionally, you can go to the website and you can sign up for it says for a newsletter, but ultimately we would like to share, if you're interested, we would like to share 30 days of soul work, and it's a self-care check-in. So if you do go to the website and sign up for the newsletter, that is a thing that we Nikki and I want to do. We have created some check-in for the next 30 days for you all for participating, and just want to make sure that we don't get disconnected after this conversation. And that also will just be more tools, like more conversation building or starting tools that you can use even in your own communities. And then,
reminders too.
Yes. Yeah, reminders.
Because you just need to be reminded to put your shea butter on.
Yeah. You need to be reminded to stop, drop, shut them
down, open up.
Oh, no, I can't stop. And then the last thing is Nikki and I are so grateful for you all participating tonight, and we would love for you to give your feedback. Tag us in any conversation on Facebook or Twitter, and both of us on Instagram, either at Nikki Black or at Ebony Janice. And just so that we can be able to repost those comments and share, just your feedback, whether good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Share that so that we can grow this conversation, so that we can build on it, so that we can become better at how we prepare and share this message, and share these tools and share this empowerment work with you all. And also so that we can, make sure that other people know that it is a thing that exists, and that people, actual real live breathing people, have participated and benefited in one way or another from it. So that's my set.
That's your set.
That's my set.
Well, I'm going to chuck the deuces too. Thank you all for participating. Thank you for signing up. Thank you for giving us feedback in terms of what kind of self-care things you will be doing and what your plans are. Thank you for coming to build community with us. And don't be a stranger. A lot of times we feel isolated as these things are taking place. It's weird, we're connected through social media and things, but then we just feel like, I don't know, like you're by yourself as you're going through this, and we're not alone. We are a community, we're a family, so let's keep it that way.
And that's real life. We are a community, we are a family. Nikki and I met on MySpace years ago. That's a true story.
True story.
Connected by, like, this internet thing doesn't have the possibility to really make us real life, friends and and sisters, as a matter, sisters and brothers. So definitely let's stay connected.
Absolutely. And look out for more Interrupting Racism workshops in the future.
Amen. I was going to get a benediction, but I'm trying not to cut up.
Don't do that.
So,
don't do it.
Y'all have a blessed night. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Take care.